Hey, what's up YouTube? I'm back and we're in the Let's Play series. So we're just going to be checking up on what's happening at the moment. It's a few days in at the moment and I'm starting to kind of talk to people, build up allies, and that's very important. We're still gaining land and taking out Rio de Oro, and we're keeping an eye on what's happening in Spain. Spain has quite a few enemies and we could do a land grab there, but I don't think we will. It's a little out of our territory, to be honest. And I've started researching tactical bombers. Obviously I had to go for interceptors first. Tactical bombers are incredibly important, but to make them work, as you can see, I'm building a lot of interceptors. You need to have interceptors to back them up, or else they're basically useless. So we're just about to finish taking all of that land, but we need to move back a bit. I just about walked into that. I hadn't been paying much attention. So we're going to regroup a little bit, and then we're going to head back in there and take it out, hopefully soon. Algeria's next to us. He's inactive, so he's a very potential target. We will definitely attack him at some point, but I'm not sure if we have the firepower to be honest. We're still a little weak and our light tanks are still not ready yet, but I'm going to move close to the border so we can scout them out. You need to know what you're going up against. You can't just walk straight into a country without knowing what they have. He's inactive, so he has roughly 19 plus units. It's a few days in. So we're going to send a few more troops up towards that border, and we're going to start building up a force. Due to the nature, just looking at the buildings, it doesn't look like he has too many air bases or anything, so his forces ain't too diverse. So yeah, this is day 5, and we're in 11th place. We can definitely get a lot higher. Like, there's still heaps of unclaimed territory. But just looking at the rest of the people in the game, actually something weird to notice is most of the time the people who talk a lot in the newspaper don't do too well on the scoreboard. So, I don't know, that's just something I noticed. So we're back a little later on, just to check up on what's happening. And not much has happened, to be honest. The troops up in Rio de Oro, I'm pretty sure it was, pushed forwards a little bit while I was AFK, but we're going to take them out. France has come in, I assume, for the land grab. We will go to war with him if we have to, but I don't think we will. You also notice I'm using a lot of tanks here. We're fighting on plains, so we're making the most of that terrain advantage. We're also sending troops to save that piece of land up there. We also got to rush to that airbase. Make sure they don't capture that, or else our interceptors, when they are ready and available for use, won't be able to do much. I'm also building up my runway and airbase network at the moment. As you can see, it's not complete. You really need to have a good network of airbases to ensure your planes can travel, and if you lose 1 or 2 airbases, it doesn't matter. Upper Volta is also going for the land grab as well with me up here, so we need to try compete against him for the land. We need to get more land than him. As much as we are working with him, we have a common goal, a common enemy, which you should always have. We do need to get more land so we can stay above him. So it does look like there is a lot of fighting going on in the region. Look in the newspaper again, this is day 6, obviously a day after yesterday, and we're falling back to 17th, but I'm still hoping to climb back up. Considering we're moving into Libya, I'm pretty sure we should definitely be able to climb a few places. We just need to ensure we get the capital. Okay, so back on day 7, and we're in 18th now. We're falling back 1 more. We've captured a lot of land, but we're still not quite there yet. We want to try get to the capital at the moment and capture as many cities as we can. Not only do cities give you the points you need, but as you can see, they have industrial plants, and we need those to build troops. I also captured Rio de Oro's new capital, which gave us a good boost. It was nice. As you can see, our resources are pretty high now. Oil is going to be a challenge. We need to look after oil, and that is going to be a big challenge. Air bases as well are looking pretty good. I got a good network built up there, and we're going to try to start building some tactical bombers. Tactical bombers are the way you win this game, along with light tanks and stuff. But I already have my interceptors built up, so they will cover and work with my tactical bombers, so they'll work together as a group. And hopefully my airbase network isn't built up enough that they can move around. It's got to the point now where resources are getting kind of hard to buy on the market, especially the ones you need, goods and oil, they don't last long. We also need to start building up a navy at some point. Infantry, you also need to keep up to date with infantry, as that is one of the main units. And it's also good to have all the basic of each type unlocked, so you can build them if you need to. So we're also going to start researching nuclear power as soon as we can. Having nuclear bombers is definitely a really good weapon, but one thing that I like about that is you have to build up your strategic bombers at the same time, and that's something I personally forget to do. Is I get to building, well, researching nuclear bombers, but I don't have strategic bombers, so I have to go back and do those. So we're still going for the land grab here and trying to get as much of that land as fast as we can. It's at this point, it's not so much about saving troops. We want that land, so our enemies don't have it. You know, not that there are enemies yet, but you know, potentially it could make a huge difference. I've still got some troops down on the border in defense. You never know when you'll need them. Upper Volta, we're not sharing maps yet. We're not on that sort of terms, so I can't trust him. Although from messaging him, his intentions seem good. But, you know, people have weird intentions. Ooh, we'll find out. That's a really good game. Art style's a lot better in reality, but you should play it. It's a really good game, War Thunder. Alright, so where were we? Yeah, Upper Volta. Nice guy. He's at war with Algeria too. So we're still competing with him for the land, which is good. Keeps us busy, keeps us going. Yeah, so our food's looking good. All of our resources are looking great. We just about ran into Libya, I think it is, up there, so we had to send our troops back. So just looking down what's happening in the south, it seems to have settled, to be honest. I think it's all good. Southwest Africa does seem a little, you know, aggressive. So we're back again, and this time my relationship with Upper Volta has progressed quite a bit. So as you can see, we're sharing maps. I'm researching submarines still, and infantry as well is still going. We're still in 18th place, if I remember rightly. We were 18th before. So we haven't progressed much. We haven't fallen many places. But hopefully we're going to gain a few. I've been talking with Upper Volta, and we have both had the decision to attack Libya. So as you can see, that convoy's going around for the flank. I see people do this a lot early game, and it actually works. People send all their troops to the front lines, expecting the troops to march in where, you know, not many people have navies early in the game. I know this is a little later on, so they probably do. So that's going for the flank. As you can see, that I sent that tank up, scouted there's a unit there in a fortification. So I'm going to send him back. I'm going to find somewhere else to go. At this point, I can see most of his land, and there isn't troops in it, so I'm not going in with as much caution as I should. I'm just sending troops in all along the border and kind of shock awe, except, you know, it doesn't really have that much of an effect in reality, that sort of attack. But we want to, as quickly as we can, deprive him of his resources, and we want to destroy his economy as fast as possible so he can't produce any troops. So that's why I'm setting my troops up to go through the cities. I don't know what's there at this point, and to be honest, I could march straight through there and destroy the industrial areas and be unable to use them myself, but it's a risk we have to take, because I'd rather we had them than that. Yeah, we had them than he does. My tactical bombers are also reaching the front lines, and when I'm available to use them, I will. They are especially good against infantry this early in the game. They're not too good against armor, but as time goes on and they get upgraded, they do become a lot more effective. So we're attacking on all fronts, and we're spreading our units a little thin. But you know, like I said before, we're just trying to sweep across, get as much land as we can. I'm starting to send planes out to patrol. Normally I do this before I march troops in, but we're competing against Upper Volta for land, like I've said. So we need to get to it before him. I know he's not going to have much of a chance of beating us to these coastal cities, but we do need to push deep and get around him. That's why I've sent that convoy ahead to try get pretty far forwards before his troops can march up there. So with the info we get from the scouting, we'll try to prioritize where we send our troops, send them to better environments that suit them, and send more better suited troops. But we can't always do that. Like I said, it's a bit of a race at this point. The tactical bombers are moving forward, and they will support and kill anything that is a threat. I would send them down close to where I expect his troops to be, close to his core, but I don't have the runway network and airbase network built up. It's important that you always work on this and keep it well built. I'm still building tactical bombers. Normally, for every continent I have, I like to have 15 interceptors and 15 tactical bombers. It works, but at this point I'm not big enough to support that, so I'll just see how things go. Oops, I did not mean to click that. Yeah, I don't use much gold, so... And anyway, I'm building anti-tank there because I simply don't have anything else I can build. The infrastructure isn't built up, and I have enough planes as it is. It also kind of helps if you build units in batches. It helps keep track of how many you have. Anti-tank is also, we do kind of need a little bit of anti-tank. We don't have much of it. I've also allied myself with Angola, and Southwest Africa is still looking a little dodgy. So we're not sure how they'll play out yet, but I'm there if need be. France and England control Spain. Spain's on our border. We've got to fortify our border. Got to build a navy to do that. So that's going to be our next goal, building a navy. So looking at the newspaper at the end of roughly week 1, we're in 18th place on 105 points. I reckon we can easily boost that and climb really high. We're 15th in that lot of stats, and if we have a look at what's been happening today in the newspaper, not much. We did gain a little bit of land from a rebellion, but not really much has happened. So next week, I actually expect that we will accomplish quite a bit. I reckon next week's going to be full of action, and not much more. It will probably be a little slow.